Welcome to Patscast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. This is our episode for September 26th, 2021. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
Okay, Chris, so the preseason has come and gone. Did it raise more questions or has it answered more for you? What are you feeling about preseason so far?
I thought it answered maybe our goal kind of question. Like, well, maybe not depth, but I mean, it looks like we're going to be able to score some goals.
Yes, I think so too. We ended up with a tie for the top scorers in preseason, and preseason is what it is, but it's nice to see that was something Regina struggled with lately, is scoring goals. So both.
Yeah, we had the most goals scored in the division. 28 goals. So in 6 games.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see that.
But on the flip side, we gave up 26 goals. So that question was not answered. And I think that's going to be a year-long question, maybe.
It might be. But let's get into it. Let's get into the meat of this show. We might have maybe some answers for one of those questions you've brought up. Maybe the first question going into preseason was, who's going to play with Bedard? We did get to see this a bit of chemistry developing between him and Cole Dubinsky. Something I got to see at their one home game against Prince Albert, and it was there. It was really good. Dubinsky, I know it's only a couple of games, but he really seems like he's finally taken that step that we've all been waiting for him to take. We've seen this kid since he played the few games as a 15-year-old, and every year we say, "This is it. This is the year he's gonna take that step."
Breakout.
Yeah, we're waiting for the breakout, and I mean, two preseason games or 3 that he had. It's there now, and hopefully it can carry on into the regular season. Unfortunately, he didn't seem to play the last 2 games with the Pats in the preseason. Unsure if there was any injury or what's going on there. We did look into it. Doesn't seem like they released injury reports in the preseason. So that will be a question. Hopefully everything is okay and they're just trying to get some other guys some ice time maybe. But I could very well see him playing on that Bedard line, and them putting up a bunch of points would be nice to see.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you always get that boost playing with Bedard. You know, we know guys will put up some points playing with him no matter who you are almost, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you see a guy like Borjavalis jumping on that line when Stringer went to Minnesota Wild Camp, and boom, 2 goals, right?
Yeah.
In one game. So
that
guy's, we know nothing about him at all until we seen him here. So it's nice to see he can potentially put the puck in the net, right?
Yep.
So, and then Stringer seems to have some chemistry. I mean, we said in our last show that he's going to get every opportunity with Bedard. He had the big trade, so they're going to run with him. And then like I said, Dubinsky, we've been waiting for him to break out. So hopefully that this is the year for him.
Hopefully, it could be an exciting duo or trio there. Depending, they might even cycle people through. We've seen that a lot with Strush's, just cycling people through lines, even if there is some chemistry, maybe for a little while, and then if it dries up, change it up, right? So we'll see how that goes. But
I mean,
some
depth
promising
scoring, we didn't really see anybody jump out, save for Cole Carrier and his shorthanded hat trick. Which was pretty impressive.
Yes.
3 breakaways. It's not like they were like chintzy goals, right?
No, that was a crazy thing to see. Like that doesn't happen a lot, and that was a pretty cool feat to see, even if being in preseason. It was neat. One of the questions we did have going into preseason is our goaltending situation. I don't know if it's a question; it's more of a situation. I don't know if it's clearer, or maybe it's clear as to who the starter is going to be, but maybe it's not doesn't instill a ton of confidence in me just yet. So Matthew Keeper played, they credit him with 4 games, both him and Welke with 4 games. Now we only played 6 preseason games, but Keeper in those 4 games had a .945 save percentage and a 2.0 goals against average. Welke had an .821 save percentage and a 6.21 goals against average. So it seemed like Welke had a few tough outings. We didn't get a chance to see Keegan Maddox which was the player brought in from Victoria in the trade with them that sent Carter Massier there, which is unfortunate. Again, there's no injury report. You did a little sleuthing and saw something on his, what looked like his hand or something like that.
Yeah, Kevin and I were at the blue and white game sitting together, and we seen, it looked like he maybe had a hand injury, so maybe that happened in camp. So we don't know, obviously, what the deal is there, but maybe he might have a chance here. Welke maybe had a couple tough outings there.
So I think we all agree that keeper right now is the front runner for the starting position.
Yeah, I think so, and I think we kind of knew that going in, unless something really happened and Welke really took the ball and ran with it. I mean, you could maybe get past them, but I think they were expecting to start keeper.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Maddox at least be able to compete for that backup job. Now it's tough to do that when you're not in a preseason game. You can't just try someone out and see how it goes, right? So yeah, we'll see how all that plays out, but you need someone around. The recent signing of Pine, the goaltender, he's with the Pat Seas. So that's Keaton Pine. So I don't know, it could be a developing situation with the Pats throughout the season. If keeper gets injured or something, hopefully not. But he's young, right? He hasn't played. He's not used to playing 60 some, or what would you put him in for? 50? What would you expect from him?
Yeah, I don't know. Goaltender? Yeah, exactly, right? He played, a few games last year, and whatever he played in Bantam the year before, or triple or midget maybe, whatever. He probably would have played midget, but he didn't even get a full season that year, right? Either.
Right. So we're gonna throw him
I don't think you can expect him to carry the load. You're gonna have to
50 some games.
Some of these other guys.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Maddox, he's 18, so he's going to go play junior A somewhere.
Yeah.
So he'll have, some quality competition. So they can at least kind of get a report on how he's doing if Welke starts with the Pats here. And then, Pine, in an emergency maybe situation, he'll be around here playing with the Patsies.
Right. So it could be a developing story over the whole season with the Pats, I think, is their goaltending. So keep an eye on that. Now, maybe one little bright spot here is our defensive situation. After years of being young and developing players, is starting to actually come together to a pretty, I'd say, one of the stronger points of the Pats, and maybe able to help out the goaltender a little bit here and not, and maybe cover up that exposure. The defense it felt like a liability the last few seasons. And now, at least on paper, it looks like it's a bit of a force. We've got some good players. We got Evans, if we get him back. Svozil, if we get him back. It's too good.
Well, he'll be coming for sure.
Yes, so. He's not old enough. Then we got the acquisitions, Luke Bateman, Cadeau from last year. Marcus Taylor, Jake Johnson, Parker Berg, and then Leighton Feist in there too. It's not a bad core back there. I think it's going to be competitive too, right? You have some players that might cycle through, and they're going to be playing hard to be able to earn their spot and get some more ice time.
Yeah, you expect if Evan's back, you expect him to carry the load. Cadeau and Bateman will definitely be getting lots of ice time. You expect one of them to probably play with Evans, where they're more defensive guy and they can cover for Evans when he's doing his thing. And then Johnson, assume once he's healthy, he'll be playing regular minutes.
Yeah.
And then Svozil will be getting regular minutes as well, you'd think. And then kind of Taylor, Berg, kind of cycle in there, and then Feist looks like he's going to get lots of ice time too. So
Absolutely.
you got 6 guys for sure, and then you got Taylor, Berg, and DeWitt that are kind of be cycling in here and there depending on what the situation is.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I remember the last few seasons doing our first couple of shows. It's always like, our defense might be suspect, and this year it's coming together nicely. So that's great. So speaking of those players, though, we may be starting the season without a few of them. So Evans, Nyhoff, Svozil, and Englot are still away on their NHL camps. May or may not have them back. I don't know. We're getting down to a couple days. Even if they did come back, they would probably get some rest and time before they'd be suiting up for the Pats. I'm not sure. I think NHL preseason started last night.
Yeah, it did.
And I don't know how long they usually stay. It
all depends right on the team. Like, Stringer's already been sent back.
Yeah.
But I think it all depends on the team. I seen Nyhoff, he scored a goal.
He did
for Anaheim the one night.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen much from anybody else yet, but
yeah.
I think that was like the rookie tournament or something that they do, kind of like the young guys tournaments before the actual preseason.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, great opportunity for them, and developing those skills and playing at that high level with those other players is just not. It's going to benefit them so much, even if they do come back here right away.
I mean, they miss out on the camp here, kind of getting, the time with their actual team, but you can't argue with what they're getting out of an NHL camp.
Out of interest, what is the AHL affiliate for Seattle? The Charlotte Checkers.
Then, old team of Brad Haroff. He played in Charlotte, I'm sure of it. So
interesting.
And if you ever check his hockey DB, man, he racked up some hymns for a little guy like that. But he was definitely a rough player, I think.
Okay, I was just wondering where Evans could go if he doesn't come back with us.
Yeah, and I don't think they even have an ECHL affiliate. But their AHL affiliate, I think, will be next season, and that's going to be where is it in California? There,
that was
Palm Springs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of touches on the next point: is the 20-year-old situation isn't totally cleared up yet. Evans, Nyhoff, Smith, and Chorney are currently the 20-year-olds on our roster, so they have some time to think about it. Sometime in October, they have to get that down. So it's kind of depending, I think, on Evans coming back. And then, I mean, Nyhoff's your captain, so he's going to be here. And then Smith and Chorney, and it's a tough decision. I would lean towards Zach Smith, I think.
Yeah, they kind of bring a different skill set, right? They're kind of two different players, but it's be a tough choice. And if I think Evans will be back, I don't think he'd play, but you never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're not going to make that decision until they know for sure on Evans. And
absolutely.
I think it's like October 10th or something. Usually,
sometime.
The cut down day is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So that's kind of looking at some older players. Now some younger players new to the Pats, some recent signings for them. Mateo Michaels, an 05 forward. We mentioned Keaton Pine, the goalie with the Pat Seas. He's also an 05. And McEachran, an 05 defenseman. And then Carter Herman out of Swift Current, the AAA Legionnaires. He is defenseman and also an 05. And I guess a signing, you could call it. We have the new assistant coach, Ken Schneider, coming in. So he has a bit of a history. I think Rob Vanstone did a good write-up on him. It's a good article in the Leader Post from Rob. I think it was tweeted. If we didn't, we'll retweet it out there. If you want to find out a little bit more about Ken and what he brings.
Yeah, I was an older guy.
Yeah.
So he's got some experience, and he can hopefully bring not a different voice, but maybe another angle to the team.
And that reminds me, so last year we talked about Greg Harder not writing for the Leader Post and covering the Pats anymore, and we did wonder who would step in and fill that in. So it's nice to see Rob Vanstone in. He's actually put out a couple good articles. I'm happy to see that the Leader Post is keeping up with it. I was concerned when Greg left that there might be kind of
I talked to Rob after the blue and white game, and he said, it's going to be busy, because riders are going on.
And they go late.
He's jumping in. Yeah, they go, it's going to go till almost December. And then, so he's going to jump on the Pats as much as he can.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Kevin will still be doing the Dub Network thing, I think, this year.
Seems like
that.
And
hopefully we can put out some good stuff. If we're getting some interviews again this year. We can put out that kind of stuff for you guys as well.
We will be there for you. And also who's going to be there for them, at least for one game, is the CBC. So that's our first game, home game that is, on the Saturday, is going to be on CBC. Probably because of Connor Bedard. I don't think there's much arguing there because there's only 2 games that they're covering 6 games for the entire CHL, 2 games in the WHL, and 1 happens to be ours. It's kind of too bad that the rest of the team's not going to be here, possibly, those 4 guys that we talked about, because it might not be
some key guys.
Yeah, it might not be a totally accurate representation of the team. But that being said, PA would probably have a few guys gone too, so I don't know. It's too bad we couldn't have waited a little bit, but exposure is exposure, and any coverage is great. So nice to see that game will be on CBC.
I'll have to take it in on CBC or the CHL Live, as I won't be able to make it.
Yeah, it's too bad.
So that's unfortunate, but
that is life with kids. Because I'm sure there'll be some I don't make this year too. So now the nice thing with that though is if you have children and you're not going to make it to every game, the CHL TV deal was or pricing at least, the packages were announced, and boy, I have to say I'm super impressed with what they did this year. You can get an entire CHL package for what, $160? Yeah, and then just WHL, and that's the entire WHL. Like you used to have to pick your team, and it
was like $100, was it not?
For just the away games. And then if you wanted the home games, it was like a whole another pile. And then if you wanted the WHL, it was another big expenditure.
It was like $400.
Like when you got up, it was a lot. It was crazy. And we often said, this is insane. If you want to build your brand, you need to lower this down. And my feeling is they've really came aggressive this year. It's now available. It was available on Roku last year, but now Fire TV and Apple TV have the apps built in, or you can download them, whatever. And I tried out the Fire TV, and it's so much nicer, way better than streaming from your phone, like casting it from your device to your Chromecast and then your TV. Like it's much better. It just feels more professional. It looks better. It feels better. The price point's way more accessible. And then that being said, for those who didn't see, and didn't see in our tweet, because we know some that missed it, in your season ticket email, thank you, an introduction kind of thing, if you scroll down, there is a promo code there for 50% off the WHL package. Chris did inquire if you could use it on the CHL package. It doesn't seem like that's possible. But regardless, you're still getting 50% off the WHL package. So now it's down to like $60 for every game in the WHL. Like, to me, how could you pass that up? You'd be crazy. So, kudos to that development and that price point. Really happy to see that. So I guess that's kind of getting into next week and the games. Kicking it off pretty good here. So we're home and home with PA, and then on the road in Winnipeg on the Wednesday, and then our good old friends there in Moose Jaw, they'll be stopping in. So we actually only get to see them once next week, and then not again until the Sunday, over a week from the first game that we get to see them. But so 4 big games to kick it off. PA we did beat in the preseason, which, whatever, doesn't mean everything, but nice that we could keep up with them. They'll have some of their key players gone too, I think, specifically Caden Goulet. And we were thinking Weisblatt must be gone too.
Yeah, he'd probably be at San Jose camp, I think.
And I don't know if they have anyone else that's gone. But regardless, I know I was listening to an interview with the Moose Jaw coach during last night's game, and they have a few players gone too. I think they said they have 5 NHL draftees, so they have a few gone as well. And Winnipeg might too. So I mean, these first few games, it's like, it's kind of like
every team has.
Yeah, you're super.
A few guys, right?
Really excited to get going, and then you're like, oh, we have all these scratches and people gone, and then like fill in spots and this and that. But regardless, I'm not going to complain. It's awesome to get going. And how do you feel about this week? What are you thinking?
Right out of the bat, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess home and home, you always expect to win one
Split that.
and split that. It always sucks starting on the road because you got to drive to PA, play, drive home, get in late, and then
this
play
game,
that next day
it's not a 7:00 game either. It's 1:00, right?
Oh yeah, I never thought of that.
So then that's crappy turnaround. Because it was originally booked, I think, for 7, but then they changed it for the broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad. I know what PA will do.
Yeah, it's not even like
I guess they were just driving in the morning.
4:00, like the Sunday afternoon game, right? It's 1.
Yeah.
Like, man, they're gonna be getting home. PA, that's like a 4-hour bus ride, right?
It's a long drive.
You're getting home at you're getting home like no earlier than 3 a.m.
That's gross. What about PA driving down though? So then they have to leave at like.
Oh yeah, that's true. Are they leaving in the morning or are they coming?
I don't know.
Like that's 1:00 game. That's like practice time. Because of what the Pats practice at like noonish usually. Okay. So
oh man.
Yeah.
Oh well, they're young, man.
I know, exactly. It's the first 2 games of the year. There's no, there's no.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the season.
Come on, get over it.
Long season dragging, but.
Anyways,
they do. I'm just going through the schedule here. They do have an 11 a.m. start in Calgary in November, late November. I think it's one of those.
It's one on TV.
School day games where they bring all the school kids.
Yeah.
Oh, Edmonton. February 8th, they're 11 a.m. as well. They got a couple morning games.
The school game, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I guess I won't be watching those games. Oh, it's a Sunday. What's the Edmonton one? The Edmonton one's a Tuesday, February 8th. So I don't think I'll be watching that game.
Catch the replay on CHL TV.
Yeah. I'll put it on the computer at work and catch it.
Yeah. Okay, some news around the league. So, kind of interesting. So, Keegan Maddox, we got from Victoria for Carter Massier, and then we were Scott tweeted it out that Carter Massier is kind of inactive now on Victoria, which is too bad. He was a good player. I liked him. I liked his speed. He had some exciting flashes there, and so now to see him inactive, kind of sad to see.
Yeah, it's too bad, but that's the game that happens. The 20-year-old game, right? He'll go find a spot in Junior A somewhere, and hopefully have a good season for somebody.
Exactly. Another 20-year-old that's kind of floating around right now, or maybe he's signed by now. I don't know, but I'm sure he'd fit someone's desire that they need. Is Michael Ladyman out of Winnipeg? He was released by the Winnipeg Ice, and I just remember playing against him numerous times, and he was a good player. So I'm sure he'll find a spot here right away. And around the league, we'll see. It's some funny schedule things going on right now. I think the dust is starting to settle and things are planned out. And we'll see. Hopefully everything stays as it is and we can get through this safely for everyone. I think it sounds like the Pats vaccine passports pushed back till sometime in November.
I think that's on the province. They had problems with the QR code. Yeah, is what I heard. So,
so it's
that's just too bad. I mean, I went to the Friday night Rider game and just showed them that your PDF kind of thing,
right? And
got in, no problem. I wasn't driving, and I was like, they're like, "Oh, I need your driver's license." I was like, "Oh, well, geez, like." I guess they got to confirm your ID because they can't just show them a piece of paper with 2 shots. And I'm this guy, right?
Yeah.
So of course, good thing, I always have your wallet on you, but you're just like, oh yeah, geez.
Yeah, I had to do that at the Coras in Winnipeg. Show them my ID and my vaccine records.
Yeah, so
interesting
I guess
times.
The QR code will be coming in the future here. They had a snafu or something, so.
Yeah.
But I guess everybody's gonna have to be vaccinated to get into the game, and that's gonna be the way of life, I guess. And hopefully we can get through this season.
Yeah. Well, let's all hope for a safe season and wish everyone safety. And give us a follow on Twitter if you don't already at WHL Patscast, and interact with us there too, please. That's mostly where we hang out, and we are happy to engage you in any conversations. If you disagree with us, that is totally fine. Happy to have that discussion.
Yeah, please let us know.
Yeah.
Change our minds.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking good. Looking forward to the season. We did get our press credentials again, so thank you very much to the Pats for that. We really, really like that. We like bringing that little bit of extra that we can access with player interviews and the press conferences. It's going to help you guys and help us continue on here. Anything else to say there, Chris?
No, just excited to get back in the rink and watching some actual hockey here.
Yeah. I went to that preseason game, and it had been about 18 months since I've seen a live sporting event, and it's nice to be back. If anyone hasn't gone to a preseason game yet and you're just going to be going to regular season, it's nice. It's nice to be back. Let's all just be respectful and keep it safe. All right. Good night, and see you at the rink.
Good night, guys.
Patscast is a proud member of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. If you're interested in other homegrown podcasts with a wide variety of topics, check out saskpodcastnetwork.com.